Amy, let me tell you about a magical place that is so exactly designed to be enclosed space, year-round fun for the whole family that I bet you already know what I'm going to say before I even say the name. Let's say it together on 3. 1, 2, 3. Great Wolf Lodge. You got it, Amy.
My kids loved Great Wolf Lodge when we went. You probably already know that it has a huge indoor water park with a wave pool, lazy river, a bunch of massive water slides. But then your pack can hit the other attractions because wait, there's more.
Great Wolf Lodge has adventure-packed attractions like Magi Quest, a live-action game kids can play throughout the lodge, plus the Northern Lights Arcade. Spent some quality time there, so your kid who loves the lazy river and your kid who loves fantasy games will both have a great time.
Great Wolf Lodge also offers great dining options and complimentary daily events like nightly dance parties, all under one roof. Unpack the car once and you're settled in to have fun. And with 22 lodges across the country, you're always a short drive away from adventure.
We've both had such great times at Great Wolf Lodge, so bring your pack together at a lodge near you. Learn more at greatwolf.com and strengthen the pack.
Oh, Dad, you don't even know where the dog's leash is. What fresh hell?
Laughing in the face of motherhood. I lived by this advice, and I give this advice to the youth. Second date, no makeup. With Margaret Abels
and Amy Wilson. Just try for a week. 0 negativity. It's kind of like going screen-free. A podcast that solves today's parenting dilemmas
so you don't have to. Your mom resting face ain't a pretty sight, ladies. Let's be honest. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the podcast. This is Margaret.
And this is Amy, and this week we're talking about your best relationship advice. You guys have good advice for everything, and the relationship thing was so its own category, we made it its own episode.
So we are back. We're really back with part 2 of World's Best Advice. Hashtag relationships.
Right. This is the season 2 relationships. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to this advice because we got so much. I want to cover it.
Dive in, Amy. Dive in the deep end.
The first sort of like obvious thing that everybody says, but I think it matters, is that you have to. Let's start with our partner, our romantic relationship, the person we're raising our kids with. We have to prioritize that relationship. And I know, and what does that mean? But it matters.
Everyone says put your spouse first, put your spouse before the kids. The marriage is the center of the family. But it's very true. And this is so much of the advice that we talked about in Best Life Advice. It's yes, we get it, but right? We also have a lot of reasons why it doesn't work day to day. And this is something my husband and I were just saying last night. It is so easy for us, and we constantly fall back into business partners. Okay, tag, you're it. This morning, I have to record the podcast, so you take the kids to school. Okay, tag, you're it. Okay, you're home. Get to work. I'll see you later. Come on up. You get the kids what they want to drink. We just are all day tag teaming and tagging each other in and out. And what happens as a result of that is we start treating each other like annoyed coworkers, And so right away it's I told you to get the kids their drinks and you didn't do it. Why are you getting in the way of our business model? What happens is we're not prioritizing each other. We're just prioritizing the chaos of the day and the kids.
You're running a daycare together.
We're running a daycare and we're miserable coworkers. And then that's where romance goes out the window, It's who wants to make out with their annoying coworker from the daycare? Nobody. I think sometimes people get mystified as to well, wait, I used to really love this guy and find him sexy and, love being with him. We had these great talks and now we just spend all of our time hating each other. It's because you've accidentally become angry coworkers at the daycare.
Yeah, I believe in this sort of as an axiom. I'm not always sure how to make it work, right? Get date night on the books once a week. I hear that. And that of course is, we say we're going to do it and then we don't exactly.
Feels like a job.
Yeah. Or go get away, just the two of you, go to the Holiday Inn down the street. I don't care. But that seems to me to be a way that you can invest in your relationship. Get the grandparents to take care of the baby for one night. And it's amazing how interesting your spouse becomes when the kids aren't around and it's just the two of you.
But if you do it that way, I think you're going to have problems because for most of us, babysitting is expensive. Getting away is expensive. Do you have people to watch your kids while you're away? You can't just do it as we'll go to Fiji and rediscover each other. That may not happen. So you have to do it kind of every single day. And one thing that you said a long time ago on the podcast is that same team. Like that you and your husband sometimes start like, biting at each other. And then someone's like, same team, remember, we're on the same team.
Yeah.
It's really about keeping the original joy of your relationship in the center. Because if you just keep your partner in the center and he becomes the annoying daycare coworker, you're like, wait, I don't want to be in the center with you. You're annoying. You have to keep the original like joy of it in the center. And that's a lot harder.
The same team thing to me is more about like when you're fighting a struggle together, and then the sort of the point of the relationship becomes more clear. But I want to sort of unpack like what does it mean to prioritize your spouse, your romantic relationship, like on a Tuesday night at home, like you're making dinner and somebody needs help with their homework. What does that mean to put that into practice? Because I'm not sure I know.
I think what it means for us is like, for us, it's like, it's us doing it. Like we can smile at each other when we're doing it. Every day, there are going to be times that are like completely miserable, but old us, before us, would like do funny things and laugh together about them. Bad daycare worker us goes into things and like snipes at each other, And so it's a tonal thing, kind of, I think. It's like finding the thing you love about the person every day and really looking to find that.
This is something that Jennifer actually suggested. Jennifer G. She says, don't bash your spouse in front of your kids, even if he never picks his stuff up and is into soaking his dishes. She puts soaking in quotes. I have somebody who soaks his dishes also. That's so strange.
Oh, a soaker. They're all soakers, Amy. They're all soakers. Don't believe there's a non-soaker out there. They're all soakers.
I want to talk about this a little bit more because this is something that my spouse has sort of been like, yeah, I need you to not do this, because it is sort of I feel like this is a trope. Like every sitcom is like, oh, Dad, you don't even know where the dog's leash is. Like that sort of, thing.
Yep.
My kids lap that up, right? They're a really eager audience for that. And I mean, it's pretty funny. There's a lot to it. That's a deep well of material for me. But my spouse doesn't like that. Like, don't make me the butt of, oh, Dad, jokes in front of the kids.
I like that he can like say that to you too, because that's great. Like,
yeah, you need like it bothers me.
To be like, hey, this bothers me and I don't like it. Is a good thing to be able to verbalize. And I think if I can just really put the fear of God in you about this once and for all, like this is the thing that I sometimes picture when I get this way. And I am like a naggy, demanding wife, like at my very core. And my husband is like a mild-mannered, nice person. And so we can easily slide down the rabbit hole into the dynamic of like, David, I said, get the kids some orange nails. And he's like, yes, dear. Like it happens to us. And all I think in those moments is like, how am I going to feel when I'm sitting in my son's living room someday and watching his wife be like, get that down. Like this, you are modeling what relationships are to your children all day, every day. And you better think about that. Like, do you want your child to end up with someone who like treats them like an idiot and nags them? Or do you want someone who joyfully treats them like a full partner and like gives them a kiss every day?
Right.
They're going to marry exactly what you model to them.
I think my spouse and I are both like completely intolerant of like, don't talk to me that way. Don't talk to me that way. So like we don't give each other a hard time, but prioritizing them is different. It's like, I guess, give them a kiss when they walk in the door. Like give them the pork chop first. What does prioritizing?
No, I think prioritize is so simple. I think you're overcomplicating it. Prioritize your spouse means treat your spouse like you like them for most of the day. Like if you just made that your goal, you'd be done. That's all prioritizing your spouse is. Like how many times a day do I get up? My husband and I are like, the alarm goes off. We like both roll out our sides of the bed. We kind of shuffle. We get into the kitchen. We start making breakfast. You go to work? Yeah. Get the kids, hey, orange juice, whatever. And we get through our whole day like that until we like shuffle into bed at the end of the day. And we're like, good night. And we fall asleep. Like that's not prioritizing your spouse. Prioritizing your spouse is like making an effort to roll over in the morning, smile at your spouse and give them a kiss and say good morning. And then like get out of bed, how'd you sleep? Like just simple, the way you used to act when you were dating them, like being nice, kind, and loving to them. That's all it is.
Colleen says that you should always talk about your spouse like they are right next to you.
Well, I've said this before and I could not believe this more. I think talking about people badly in general is a bad thing to do and a really bad thing to model to your kids, but never your spouse. When I hear people talking badly about their spouse to me or in public, I'm always like, ooh, that's not a good sign.
This reminds me of something that Becca says. This is sort of a bigger thing, but it relates, I think. She says that something that I've learned over the years is to be very careful who you choose to vent about your relationship problems. And her answer is sort of like, don't vent. I mean, vent to one person, vent to your therapist. Don't tell everybody who will listen how your spouse never XYZ, that's a bad thing to let in. So I'm going to include that in this.
It's also an extension of the thing of like how you treat your spouse is how you talk about your spouse. Like if you are talking badly about your spouse to everybody who will listen, you are putting like anchors on your relationship. You're just dragging yourself down. Like then everyone you see greets you to be like, how's David? It's like, you're right in that mode. Like it's so cliche, but like life is what you make it. Life is what you give it. It's the story you tell yourself. If you constantly tell yourself the story of my husband is an idiot, you see your husband as an idiot, you treat him as an idiot, he acts like an idiot. Like you are just feeding the beast. Like even when I treat my husband badly, I would never in a million years go to anybody else and say anything bad about my husband. Because when I think about him, when he's not like right in front of me, I'm like, he's the greatest guy ever.
Do you know who Harville Hendrix is? He wrote the book called Getting the Love You Want and like Keeping the Love You Find.
I have never heard of Harville Hendrix.
Making the Marriage You Have or whatever. A great book, Getting the Love You Want, Harville Hendrix. Read
Is it too late? I mean, I already have the love. I'm done.
You're doing fine.
I missed the boat, Harville.
Sounds like you're doing pretty well. But if you find yourself, as all of us will in a relationship that lasts more than a couple of years, in the rut of sniping at each other and seeing the annoying in each other rather than the reason we picked each other, he has this tool that he has people practice called zero negativity. And it sounds so corny and it totally works. That if you're, you're in this snipey thing with your spouse, like just try for a week, zero negativity. You can't say anything negative to each other, about each other, or, I thought you were going to turn the coffee machine on this morning, and your spouse, your partner gets to go like, negative, and like, oh, sorry, and you take it back. I did this. One-sided. I did this for a week. I decided to take it because my husband and I were getting pretty snipey with each other, to really just go zero negative, to just not allow negative things to come out of my mouth, including passive aggressive, including this needs salt,
including passive aggressive.
Oh yes, including could you close the door? I mean, whatever, zero negative. And it's kind of like going screen free. It was like hard for a day, and then incredibly easy. And then I never quite went back to the, barbed humor that I had been using at times.
And that the key thing about this is it is the ultimate back to one. You are always resetting. Like my husband and I always fall. We were just saying this morning, like, oh my God, daycare coworkers, like, and we're going on vacation on Friday, and we're like, all right, well, on vacation, we got to really just concentrate on like enjoying each other, enjoying the kids, like, and we just snipe at the kids. Like, we're just a kind of miserable, like, bunch of trolls right now. And we're hoping that, like, getting away for a little bit will reset it. But you're constantly resetting stuff. And one other thing I will add to this category of things is touching your spouse, kissing your spouse, taking a moment to hug each other. Like, when I find this, like, snipey bad stuff going on, the first thing that has fallen away is, like, we have almost no physical contact during the day.
Mm-hmm.
And it feeds it again. Like what I try to do when I'm feeling that snipey way is like take a minute, roll over in bed in the morning, kind of cuddle a little bit. How was your night? I mean, we both have horrible morning breath. We're not like, chatting all day, but like just a minute to connect physically can make a big difference in this too.
And you're right. And that's another thing that seems really sort of corny and forced, but just finding ways for physical contact, pat your partner on the back, rub their arm as you walk by. If you probably once were more cuddly all the time than you are now. I remember my husband used to be like mortified when I'd kiss him at the corner, like by the subway station, that somebody might see us. That's how he was.
That's so cute.
And now I have to be like, oh, like now I have to be like, oh, kiss him goodbye, like we're 24 again. But putting that back in your relationship artificially really yields rewards.
And that's putting your spouse first. Like, you don't have to get too mystified by it. And also, not for nothing, people, every time you make eye contact with your spouse, smile at them. Like, it's a game changer. If you watched a videotape of yourself, you'd be amazed. Like, you just have like a really mean face every time your spouse looks at you. If you could just train yourself to, like, every time you make eye contact, break in a big smile as if you were happy to see him, you would be... Your life would be transformed.
Work on your mom resting face, right? Probably could use some improvement.
Exactly. Your mom resting face ain't a pretty sight, ladies. Let's be honest. So much more advice to get to, Amy. And we'll get to it right after this.
For some of us, tax season is one of the only times that we look at our finances fully. And once it's over, well, that was terrible. And it is completely understandable not to want to think about it for another whole year. But using Monarch and being intentional with your finances in an ongoing way helps you see where your money is going and how you can put your refund to best use.
We are here to tell you, simplify your finances with Monarch. Monarch is the all-in-one personal finance tool designed to make your life easier. It brings your entire financial life, budgeting, accounts and investments, net worth, and future planning together in one dashboard on your phone or laptop.
Feel aware and in control of your finances this tax season and get 50% off your Monarch subscription with code FRESH.
As you know, my husband and I are preparing to send, 3 kids off to college, and I cannot tell you how helpful Monarch has been in showing us our full financial picture, helping us to track our spending and reach important savings milestones. Our weekly meeting, Amy, it's now run by Monarch.
Love it. Achieve your financial goals for good with Monarch, the all-in-one tool that makes money management simple.
Use code FRESH at monarch.com for half off your first year. That's 50% off at monarch.com, code FRESH.
Big Deal brands are up to 25% off right now at Designer Shoe Warehouse. You're not going to want to miss this. These brands almost never go on sale. At DSW, we'll give you something to brag about. Like up to 25% off select styles from Adidas, Crocs, Nike, Reebok, and more brands you love. Find shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. Save today at your DSW store or DSW.com. DSW, let us surprise you.
Okay, so now we know how to get along with our spouse all the time, except when we fight. Sometimes we fight.
Smile. Smiles, everyone. Smiles. That is an oldie locks alert.
Back in my day.
Yes. For those of you not as old as us, there was a show called Fantasy Island where they'd see a plane landing on an island. Talk about reconnecting with your spouse. It was all just like people who needed to fall in love with each other again, as I recall.
Oh my God. We're assigning homework. Everyone has to go to Netflix or wherever you can find it and watch Fantasy Island, because this is literally what it was about. Like, when I say we have a vacation coming up and we're going to try to reconnect, we should go to Fantasy Island.
Just go to Fantasy Island.
And Mr. Rourke, our magical host and Tattoo, would greet us. And we'd be like, Mr. Rourke, Tattoo, we've fallen out of love with each other. We never even kiss anymore.
Tattoo is a little person. Tattoo is a little person that he had to go to like a high place, as I recall. Like he'd say, the plane. Oh, no, he said the plane was coming. And then Mr. O'Rourke would say to all his employees, of which there were like 3, he'd say, smiles, everyone, smiles, right before the people got off the plane.
I don't want to take us too far off topic, which we've already got. But did you just say Mr. O'Rourke?
I think it was Mr. O'Rourke.
Oh, Amy. We're
going to put this. We're not going to settle this now.
But Mr. O'Rourke, people,
we'll put this in the Facebook.
All right, let's get back on topic.
Okay, we're going to fight about this. And when we do fight, we're going to go to bed
how
angry.
are we going to get over our fight that the guy's name was not Mr. O'Rourke?
You know what we're going to do? We're going to do what Anna Lynn says and go to bed angry. We're just going to be like, all right, fine. I agree with her on this, that you should go to bed angry, that it's sometimes helpful and perfectly acceptable. She says, often you wake up not remembering why you were angry. And I'm going to say, like, I have definitely stayed up until, 2 a.m. saying like, well, we need to work this out. We have to, but no, we have to see it. And no, you don't. You don't have to see eye to eye on everything. Sometimes
I'm going to give you the advice that changed my life on this topic.
Go ahead.
You are not allowed to have a conversation with your spouse in which one of you is lying down. Game changer. Because what happens is, and I have changed my life. I have seen the light, people. I am on the other side of the mountain. Like, I was the queen in every week I would do it. Lying down in bed. My husband, who I was a writer. So like I could sleep until 10 a.m. and then work on and off all day. My husband had to be up at 7 o'clock to be at his actual job. And he would come to bed and I would, at like 10:30 at night, I would say, we need to talk about something. And then I would keep him up for 3 hours having a long circular fight about who knows what, about something that I wasn't happy with or whatever it was. And it was torture. Like, I look back and I'm so embarrassed. But then somebody was like, no, you're not allowed to have any conversations while you're lying down. And we never fought again, basically.
Okay.
It's crazy. What happens is you're tired, your mind is racing, and you have like this like poison in your soul that you have to like spew out.
I see. You're
because it's 11 o'clock at night. It's only a poison discharge. And I have gotten in the habit. This happened last night in my house. My husband was coming to bed and I was like, listen, honey, I am in a horrible mood. I don't know what's going on with me. It could be hormonal. I'm tired. I'm a little bit sick. I am about to fight with you. And if I start talking to you, you know what? Just go read a book in the other room until I go to sleep. I'm going to do the thing where I fight with you for 3 hours because I feel that in my bones. And instead, I went to bed and he went to bed. And when we woke up, we were both in good moods.
This reminds me of the 10-10-10 rule that we talked about on the last advice episode. Like, when you're fighting about something, keep in mind, like, this will matter very much in 10 minutes. It might not matter that much in 10 months and 10 years. When I look back now at the things we stayed up until 3 o'clock in the morning, hashing out, I don't remember what they were. We're still together, so I guess we hashed it out. But I'm not sure that those hours of like, you must agree with me, you must come to my side, conversations really change anything. Like you're allowed to be two people with two viewpoints, and you don't have to have common ground on everything, as long as you have common ground on like the big stuff, I guess.
Yeah. And I mean, I just think sometimes that frustration you need to work out, but a lot of times that frustration is much better served by going to bed really, really angry and then waking up the next day and figuring it out. And my husband and I have had big conflicts over big things that were problematic, and they didn't go away by the time we woke up the next morning, but there's only so much you can hash it out. I mean, often one person has done something bad, the other person is mad at them, and you're not going to talk that out. You can talk until 3 o'clock in the morning, but you're just going to go around in circles. This is like such an old lady thing to say, but oh my God, stop, go to bed angry. I could not agree more.
Yeah. Can we talk about what Tara says? Because it's kind of the same team thing that I like to say. She says, when you and your spouse are fighting, remember it's you two versus the problem, not you against each other.
Yeah, good to remember and good to actually like say out loud and frame.
Yeah.
Identify the problem and realize that you're both trying to solve it. I mean, basically all of those 3 o'clock fights for my husband and I would come down to us both saying like, we love each other and we're trying to get along, and this thing is getting in the way of that. Like, as a very practical example, my husband used to be a terrible gift giver and special day rememberer. And so my birthday was always like, he was kind of showing up, like with like flowers from the grocery store that he'd run out and gotten that morning, and like a card that he had clearly like written while driving. And I would get crazy and so upset. And we would have these like 4 hour, 3 o'clock in the morning fights of like, I just don't even know if I want to be in a marriage like this where I'm not valued, and like going around these crazy turns. And then at some point in a calm moment, we sat down and I was like, the bottom line is you have to set an alarm a week before every special event. Your phone does that for you. And just make a bigger effort, because it's very important to me. And I know you love me, but if you keep failing at this, I'm going to get really mad at you. And we fixed it. We really fixed it. He now is like an extraordinarily amazing gift giver because he just found a solution to the problem.
That book, The 5 Love Languages, lays that out really clearly, because the problem there is, right, like cards and gifts aren't that important to him. If they were, he'd be doing it, giving you beautiful cards and gifts and be hurt if you weren't reciprocating. They aren't important to him. They are important to you. He needs to learn that. And he needs to put a structure in place like, okay, this makes my partner feel loved, so do it. And probably cards don't mean that much to him. Or does he, or do that? You tell me.
No, I mean, I think that's right. I think he would go without them. And also, I just think guys guys have that feeling of like, well, every year the magical elves bought me stuff on my birthday and bought me cards and stuff. And it's like, that was your mom.
Yeah.
You know, like that's me now for 5 people. So you have to do it for me.
Yeah.
Like there's no magical elves. I think my husband has a lot of like magical thinking around like magical things happen. And it's like, no, that was always your mom. Everything
Right.
magical that you're thinking about, that was a woman doing that. Like,
Yep.
and I actually think like he has trouble understanding that sometimes.
Yeah, I totally agree. Right, the Christmas morning thing that we teach all our children, it comes back to bite us when they don't know how to, give a heartfelt sentiment back to somebody because they never had to do it.
Yeah. And in the same way that your husband was able to sit down with you and say like, or stand up with you, whatever, and say, hey, I don't like being the butt of the jokes in this family. And my husband has sat down with me and been like, when you get upset, you just start talking to me like I'm a moron. Like, I don't want you to do that anymore. Like the other key thing, when your partner tells you something is bothering them, they win. Like you don't get to be like, you shouldn't feel that way.
Yeah.
That's not realistic. That's not what I mean. When your partner says to you, this bothers me, this upsets me, you have to figure that thing out. If that person says like, it upsets me that you are not a size 2 with a gigantic rack and like blonde hair, you don't have to change your whole life to be with somebody. But if your partner gives you a reasonable thing that is bothering them, you have to listen.
But when you are that partner, you need to put it into terms of like, this is what I need you to do. I need you to get me cards and write beautiful things in them. I need you to put a lot of thought into what you give me because it means so much to me. I need you to talk kindly in front of me, in front of the kids, and try to frame it as a thing that they can do instead of a thing that they have to stop doing. Because it's hard to like, stop being annoying, stop being demanding. Like it's hard to give somebody a negative request. It's hard for them
and
to
I'm
fulfill
going to circle
that.
back to my therapist mom's advice on this, which is like, it's such a touchstone. You can only change behavior. You can't change what's underneath behavior. You can't you can't say to someone, stop worrying, but you can help someone figure out, like, I can't say to my husband, it really kills me that you're so absent-minded. Like, that's never going to change.
Right.
I chose an absent-minded person to marry. So if I decide to be mad at that all the time, that's on me. That's a non-changeable force. But I can change the behavior around that bothers me. So I can say, I would like you to set an alarm and get me a present every year on my birthday. And he's changed it. So just make sure that the thing you're attacking is behavior, that it's not a fundamental quality of the person, because that's not going to change.
Or a perceived emotional state, like you don't care enough about me, or how do you change that? Yeah, give them something.
You don't change that. You get up to the behavior and you say, and they've done a ton of studies, because I think sometimes people are turned off by the idea of like, I want him to want to do the dishes. Not interesting and not possible.
Mm-hmm.
You really just do want him to do the dishes. They've done a ton of studies on apologies, and the studies always find that any apology soothes the hearer of the apology, whether or not that apology is sincere or coerced. The act of the apology is what you want. And so the fact that I know, like my husband, I used to say to him, like, you go to work, you never call me all day. I've got 3 little kids. It's like, you don't care if we're like surviving back here, and it hurts my feelings. And I know that what my husband did is set an alarm on his phone 3 times a day to call home, but it doesn't matter. It solved the problem. He called in to check on me 3 times a day. And that's what I wanted. I wanted the behavior. But if you get into the thing of like, I want you to want to call me, it hurts my feelings that you set an alarm to do that. No, that's the person you married.
Let's talk about some easy fight avoiders that we've gotten from some people, because I thought these were some good advice. Melissa,
I love a fight avoider.
A fight avoider. Melissa says her mother-in-law gave her this advice. If one of them feels more strongly about something, let the other person win. She said,
I think that's good advice.
Choose your battles. Yeah, I think.
Very good advice.
And of course, she says this is an important caveat. It only works if both people participate. This is obviously not the invitation to always cave to your spouse's whim.
No, absolutely. And you have to be aware. I have a friend who said that her husband once said to her, I just don't like fighting with you because you're a much better fighter than I am. And I think that's really true in a lot of relationships. One person just becomes domineering, but in my relationship, I'm the much better fighter.
Yeah, me too.
Like I'm much more manipulative, and I know how to get my way. And if I wanted to, I could just steamroll my husband a lot. And in the beginning, I would be like, I want you to kind of fight back, and I want you to have a point of view. And again, it's like, wait, that's not who this person is. This person is a nice person. Like, they're not going to emotionally manipulate you to get what they want. But I am. I'm excellent at it.
Be as good a fighter as I am. That's
So I think it's good to have those kind of touchstone rules of like, who cares more about this? Okay, let's do it.
Anna Lynn says, when spending time with extended family, the spouse who is not related by blood gets to decide when it's time to leave.
I'd never heard that before. That is such a smart rule.
She says, I will spend hours upon hours with my family, but I'm done after about 3 with my husband's family, and my husband feels the same way.
It's interesting how that works, isn't it? You're like, never saw that before.
I would say, can I give a sort of touchstone for me, like a fight avoider? If your spouse says, I know you always did Thanksgiving at Aunt Thelma's house, but this year I want to have Thanksgiving with my family, and you have to go and present that to your mom, who's going to be really disappointed, don't say, well, I really want to go to Aunt Thelma's. You know I do, but he's saying that we have to go to his family this year. You present your decisions as a team to the people who you're going to be disappointing. Don't say, well, I wish I could stay,
that's
but
true.
The other person wants to leave. Don't throw your spouse under the bus. Once you've made the decision that you're not going to the family reunion or Christmas, or that you're doing something different this year, it's a team presentation.
Team presentation. I mean, it's not going to fool anyone, but yes, I mean, I understand the overall point of view, and like supporting each other around all issues with the in-laws is a very, very good idea.
Let's talk about keeping things going for the long haul.
Let's take a break though first.
Okay.
Listen, we were all young once, and we dreamed of romance and finding that one true love. And each of us had a list of absolutely non-negotiable qualities that we were looking for in a mate.
But now we're older and married, and what if we could talk to our younger selves about that list of things? We might have some edits.
What Fresh Hell brings you qualities you want in a boyfriend versus qualities you need in the father of your children.
Boyfriend.
OMG, he has to be a good dancer. Husband.
Yeah, you were really not spending a lot of time dancing. Find a guy who's good at putting together IKEA furniture. Boyfriend.
You know what I love? A tight butt. Husband.
You know what I love? A guy who can make 20 pancakes in under 3 minutes. Boyfriend.
I'm also really into abs. Husband.
It is imperative that you find a guy who can survive on less than 6 hours of sleep. Boyfriend.
I am such a sucker for a cute smile. Husband.
Very crucial to have a high tolerance for weird smells. Boyfriend.
And for sure, he has to have sexy eyes. Husband.
For the love of God, do you realize how infrequently you'll be staring into those sexy eyes once the baby comes? I beg of you, go with the dude with some basic plumbing skills.
This has been Qualities You Want in a Boyfriend versus Qualities You Need in the Father of Your Children from the What Fresh Hell podcast.
My favorite skincare products actually feel more like self-care, like they're so nice to put on and they smell so good that I'm actually happy when I get to that part of my day. And I swear that is how I feel about Osea's anti-aging body balm.
Amy, you are usually the lotions and potions queen on this podcast, but I have to say, hard agree.
Osea's anti-aging body balm is a liquid silk body balm that combines the lasting hydration of a lotion with the firming power of a serum, leaving skin smoother and firmer.
This body balm is clinically tested and designed to deliver visible results you can see and feel.
So we've gotten to use this product for a couple of months now, and I swear I have really noticed firmer and smoother skin, like on the back of my hands. It's like getting a mini spa treatment from head to toe.
Get a spring-worthy glow with clean, clinically tested skincare from Osea. And right now, we have a special discount just for our listeners.
Get 10% off your first order site-wide with code FRESH at OseaMalibu.com.
That's 10% off your first order with code FRESH at OSEAMalibu.com.
All my kids learned to swim when they were little. It was super important to me that they be confident and safe in the water. There was only one problem with that: taking them to swim lessons. I mean, the pools were freezing. There were always cranky adults doing laps right there. And it was definitely not, for any of us, what you would call fun.
Amy, heard. But now there's Goldfish Swim School. Goldfish takes a really thoughtful approach to swim lessons, combining research-based teaching with a warm, kid-friendly environment that actually helps kids thrive in the water.
Every detail at Goldfish is thoughtfully designed to create a golden experience, from shiver-free, warm indoor pools to comfy waiting areas for parents to professionally trained lifeguards on deck.
Goldfish uses an approach called the science of swim play, which combines guided play with proven teaching techniques to help kids learn to swim, build water safety skills, and gain confidence, all at their own pace. Lessons are designed to meet kids exactly where they're at.
If you've been thinking about swim lessons or just wondering where to start, this is a great opportunity. Right now, Goldfish Swim School is offering a waived membership plus your child's first lesson free at participating locations.
Just visit goldfishswimschool.com/free to find a location near you and enroll using promo code FREE.
That's goldfishswimschool.com/free, promo code FREE.
Amy, we're back, and you have insights for the long haul.
I mean, I think I do.
Oh, the long haul, Amy.
I think
How long have you been married?
It will be 20 years this spring.
Wow. You're a long haul trucker.
I'm a long hauler. And I'm thinking like, geez, what am I going to... I better do something meaningful for that. Nancy says, it's not the love that sustains the commitment, but the commitment that sustains the love.
True.
And I think this is true. Sometimes these things are kind of a downer. Like I read these and like, marriage is work. It's hard work every day. Who was it that got up in an award ceremony? Oh, it was Ben Affleck, I think, that got up there and was like, marriage is hard. I mean, like really hard. And and he sort of
didn't they get divorced like a day later?
Yeah, like
too?
a day.
That's
a day
not great.
Later. Like
not
do not air your laundry in public. But I kind of don't. I mean, it shouldn't be an unending slog. But I think the secret to longevity is to try to remember it's hard to build your life with one person for 40 or 50 years and never get annoyed with them when you know them better than you know anybody else. But yeah, if you just sort of keep one part of you remembering what made you love this person in the first place, instead of having to rediscover that and claw your way back, try to, I don't know, practice the zero negativity, rub their back a little more, see them as a person who's choosing you. They love you.
It's just the attitude is the key to life, and attitude is the key to marriage. I have two friends who are from cultures that have arranged marriages, and one of them was in her 30s and she had dated a lot. And then she was like, I'm just going to go home and let my parents arrange a marriage for me because I'm not finding anybody. And they know me really well and they want the best for me. And I think they'll find someone good. And she entered into an arranged marriage and was still married last time I talked to her. But she was sort of like, every relationship is the same. If you both agree to treat each other really well, you'll get along for your life. And I mean, that's like a whole other bridge far, but like you chose the person. You wanted this person, Would you be happier on any given day walking out the door and like making out with a hot stranger? You probably would. And they probably would. But you're in it for something a little deeper than that. And now that you're in it, what are you going to make of it? It's your advice from the other episode. Make a choice and make that choice the right choice is the ultimate marriage advice.
Mm-hmm.
Like you did not find your soulmate. You did not find the one person on earth you're ever going to be happy with, attracted to, You're going to meet other people who you're enthralled by, interested by, it's all of that is still going to be there. You did not open a door and walk through it into the room full of happiness.
I think it's a mistake that we expect our partner to be all things, right? And to fulfill every need we have. Like,
yes,
I have my theater going friends. I have my like silly comedy friends, and I maintain relationships with them because they do fulfill parts of me. Like my spouse will go see theater with me. He will. Does he love it? Does he want to gossip about, who did Call Me Madam better. Not really, but
No, not interested in that.
but I have,
What a
but I do
shortcoming.
have friends who do, or I do have friends, like you, who will talk about Fantasy Island with me, and like these are things.
Fantasy Island, Mr. Not O'Rourke.
Fantasy Island.
Yeah, no, and I would argue that 90% of the 4:00 in the morning conversations that we had in the beginning of our marriage were about, I would like you to be a completely different person than the person you married. And I would like you to fulfill something in me that is really the job of my sister or a friend.
Mhm.
Like I want you to want to sit here and talk to me about my finely tuned emotional life for 4 hours. And like, I've sensed you're not interested and now I want a divorce.
Right.
Like that was all of our conversations in the beginning. And now I have girlfriends who I do that stuff with. And like, it's just, you're not going to be everything to each other.
Right. And that's okay. And so take that pressure off your relationship, and it does, again, help you see the positives.
Well, that's it. I mean, I always say this, but like, I always imagined your spouse was like totally like Prince with the horse to like gallop around the fields with. Like, your spouse is like mountain climbing partner, basically. Like you've taken on something difficult together. And so it's like, you just need somebody who's going to like look out for you, care for you in the situation, anticipate some needs and try to make sure you're both safe. I mean, it's just a very different job than the job they sell you when they like put the Jared commercials on TV.
I like this mountain climber metaphor. And to expand on it, they're also climbing the mountain. So
they're also climbing the mountain.
Help you, kind of, but sometimes they're having a hard time climbing the mountain, right?
No, that's the key to the whole metaphor. They're also climbing the mountain. So it's also your job to help them climb the mountain.
Yeah.
Let's go back and revisit our metaphor because you've given me a light bulb moment. You think marriage is jumping on someone's back while they climb the mountain, but it's not. It's a mountain climbing partner. That's what it is.
Or you think that they're there to be your Sherpa and to always know what needs to happen next and anticipate, okay, you're going to need an extra pair of socks for this next part or whatever.
Right. And if you spend your life being like, I'm not on your back, you're not a good Sherpa, you're setting yourself up for failure. They're also climbing the mountain.
Yeah. You're climbing the mountain together.
Yeah. And it ain't easy. Let's talk a little bit about new relationships because we haven't been in a new relationship for a combined 30 some odd years,
right?
You and I, but we do remember the days. So there might be people who are listening to us.
Sure, plenty of parents are in new relationships,
and they need some advice for new relationships.
Can we start with your sister's advice?
Oh, this is the most important advice in our family. So my sister is single and still in some new relationships, and my sister gives her the most important advice, which is
don't let the flaming volcano of need erupt too early.
Yeah, you got to keep a lid on that thing. I remember my sister had a date one time and she was like, and then I told him, and blah, 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 blah. And as she was going through like the first date, and Anne was like, oh, you let the flaming volcano of need erupt too early. Like you want to keep a bit of a lid on it. Just keep it together in the beginning. They don't need to see into the depths right away. That's all we're saying.
My friend Elizabeth says the only thing you need to decide on a first date is if you want a second one. So, keep it civil.
Keep it light, people.
Small talk.
I'm going to swing for the fences, Amy, with some controversial advice. I lived by this advice and I give this advice to the youth. Are you ready for this advice, Amy?
Yes.
Second date, no makeup.
What?
You heard me. Second date, no makeup.
Wow.
That was always the way I rolled. First date, I'll dress up a little bit, but second date, like we're going on a hike, we're doing something real. Like I'm not going to make my life about trying to keep up appearances for you. Mm-hmm. Like, this is what I look like. I'm not a big makeup person. So like, I don't like on a first date, if I put a lot of effort into like hair and makeup, second date is a hike. Like we're going somewhere. This is real me.
So no flaming.
Takes out all the anxiety about like, oh my God, am I good enough? Am I this enough? It's like, this is the real me.
Yeah. I didn't do that.
You're like on your 7,000th date still.
Maybe. No, I'm not. I mean, you're
not like a Tammy Faye.
Oh my
you don't
God.
sleep with your eyelashes on.
Just this weekend, I went and put makeup on and my husband was like, what did you put makeup on for? And I was thinking like, because I just looked at myself in the mirror like, geez, like I really should make a little bit of an effort for this person who needs to still love me.
A little bit. No, I mean, I figure like lean in early on that and then you don't have to worry about keeping up appearances. I mean, you don't want to go straight to like, sweatpants and stay in t-shirt and, gradually step it down. But I think it's a great idea.
Can we talk about Robin's advice? Because I know you really liked this one. Robin's advice is don't go to Oklahoma. And the way she explains it is that she says this girl is going on a date, finds out the guy she's going to go on a date with is from Oklahoma. And then she said, well, I can't go on the date because what if we like each other and then we have to move to Oklahoma and I have to leave my family and I'd really miss them. And so I can't go on the date. And the moral of the story is you go to Oklahoma in your mind immediately in a situation. And you need to don't do that. Don't go to Oklahoma. Just start and see what happens.
Good advice for relationships, good advice for life.
Mm-hmm.
My mom would call this catastrophizing, which is like what about 6 steps down if it starts to go wrong. I had a boss once who gave me this advice, and I truly think of it like twice a week, which is say yes until you have to say no. Because in work, especially if you're freelancing, and I've had this now with my husband again, and just lots of situations. Oh, they want to interview me at company X. Okay, that's a great opportunity, and you love company X. But I happen to know that company X's main headquarters is in Arizona, which is somewhere I do not want to live. And so should you go to the interview? Because what if then you get successful at the company and you move up the ranks, and then we have to move to Arizona? Like, it's say yes until you have to say no, because you just say yes to the interview. You go. Do you want to come for a second interview? Yes. Do you want to come for a job? Yes. And then if 8 steps down the line, do you want to move to Arizona? No, I'll go somewhere else. But taking the long view can be helpful in terms of sorting stuff out. But when it gets into that catastrophizing, like what if 8 steps down, there's a problem? Just say no.
I have a really funny story about this. So my husband, he doesn't work at this place anymore, but he came home from work and said, what do you think about this? They're offering me this head of Latin America job. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about it. So we started planning out like, okay, well, he said I'd have to go for about 2 months this summer. I'm okay, like, well, I'll go this summer. And it was going to be in Brazil. And we said like, okay, well, I guess we would go spend the summer in Brazil. We already know a little bit of Spanish. We'll get much better at our Spanish. Like, okay. And I was wrapping my head around like 2 months in Brazil and we'd see what happens and we'd get really good at Spanish. And it was like the next day before I was like, wait a minute. They speak Portuguese in Brazil. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So we'd have to learn Portuguese.
New language. Start again. Okay.
Yeah. But I wasn't like, we can't do this. Guess what happened? I mean, this idea was clearly seen as a terrible one once it was realized that he didn't know a word of Portuguese and, and about 2 words of Spanish. And this was a terrible idea.
You're actually not the best fit.
It went away. But there was
You did the rule though. You said yes until you had to say no.
There was a 48-hour period where I was like, okay,
We're
family's
moving to Brazil.
Okay.
You're like, when my baby smiles at me, I go to Rio.
Yes.
That's
old de la Hux. Alert.
Back in my day.
So anyway, I mean, I think I got bonus points that I was able to, stash in the bank to use later. My first words to my spouse weren't, "What? How could you do this? And we can't do that." And even when I found out I would have to learn a different language than I thought I was going to have to learn, I still was like, okay, and it went away. And we're still together.
Yeah.
Because you're willing to see where the road leads.
Right. And it's fine. For some people, Latin America would be no. That's when they have to say no. Until you have to say no. And your no may be in a different place than other people's. Like if my husband came home today and was like, we might have to move to Arizona, I'd be like, we have to figure something else out. No offense, Arizona. I just mean it's far from family and I don't really like the sun. And so it would be a bad combination.
But would you be like non-starter or would you be like, okay,
I would be like
stressful.
90% non-starter. No, I mean, I would really say, again, this is a whole other conversation we've had, but like my triangle is like being near family, having a base from which we can visit other family. It would be so against my triangle that unless it was like, I have to do this for some extremely compelling reason. I mean, obviously, if I would say yes to anything that was someone else's priority for reasons that made sense. But in general, I would say no pretty quickly to moving at this point, unless it was really
I
unavoidable.
probably, in my heart of hearts, knew that our moving to Brazil made no sense because he didn't speak Spanish or Portuguese. So I probably, truth be told, knew that I could be like, okay, because I thought to myself, this is never going to happen.
You had the bandwidth to say
so I
yes.
could therefore in that moment say yes until I had to say no because I was pretty sure it wasn't going to come together.
With that, Amy, I think I have where we're going to end on for this whole relationship advice. We talk mostly, I would say, about marriages, a little bit about dating, a little bit about friendship, but this advice, I need to take it. It's from Katie. She has a gem from her great grandmother, which is, if you have a problem with everybody, everybody isn't the problem.
Yep.
I love this advice. It's so true. And I've talked to so many people and I've been this person. Like, everyone in my class is annoying. It's like, I have a feeling that's not everybody.
Yep.
Let's turn that old friend the mirror around and see if we can find the problem.
Yep. I'm dealing with this. I'm applying this to something in my life with my kids right now. Like, more than one of my children has the same exact issue with me. So when it was one kid, I could say, no, that's you. And now I'm hearing the exact same words from a second child. I'm like, oh God, I have to fix myself.
Yeah, that sounds horrible. Don't do that. Whatever you do. Yeah,
But
this
she's
is
right.
great advice. And it's so hard to see in the moment, and I see it so clearly in retrospect, places where I tend towards a fair bit of righteous indignation. And I really am almost always sure that I'm correct. Yeah, when everybody has a problem, gosh, I just had a situation where I was like, everybody in this situation is an idiot. And I might have to relook at that a little bit. Possibly the problem was me.
Katie.
Is that possible? The problem being me, Amy?
It
doesn't sound right.
I love a little righteous indignation. So Katie, I don't like
so
this
good at
advice, but I
No.
believe it.
But guys, that's a good touchstone too, as you find yourself in difficult situations. Wow, Amy, lots and lots of good advice
thing we
here.
solved it. Now none of us will ever have a fight again with our partner.
No, we're done. Happy marriages all around and no more fighting. We solved it. Check and check.
I love that this whole discussion came out of discussions on our Facebook group. It's really popping over there. People are having good conversations.
Yeah, the Facebook group, guys, is so fun. Everyone's posting, talking to each other, giving each other advice. Search for that under groups in Facebook, What Fresh Hell Podcast, or you can find it through our website, whatfreshhellpodcast.com.
And you can find us on Twitter at WFH Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at What Fresh Hellcast. We love talking to you guys wherever you want to talk to us.
And guys, with that is all of our world's best advice on relationships, and we will talk to you next time.
So long.
This is a Monday.com ad. The same Monday.com helping people worldwide getting work done faster and better. The same Monday.com designed for every team and every industry. The same Monday.com with built-in AI, scaling your work from day one. The same Monday.com that your team will actually love using. The same Monday.com with an easy and intuitive setup. Go to Monday.com and try it for free. Yes, the same Monday.com.